Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Hope you're all enjoying your Sunday. I am not really. Well, I mean, I'm not getting absolutely smoked, but definitely not a good day for me. This Falcons win right here, if they hold on, that little Falcons-Texans parlay would be nice. There we go, Algier. Inside the 10. There we go. That's a big play. Big play. As soon as I click go live, big things happen.
Shout out Young Wei Koo, though, too. Big
my only big loss so far is the freaking Raiders. What a bad bet, even though that game was a bunch of bullshit, too.
Dude, if it makes you feel any better, not that, guys, I know I'm not an NFL guy, but I truly thought that I was on the right side with the Saints and the Broncos, and it wasn't close at all.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
I really liked the Saints. I was feeling really good about myself in that first half.
That was a weird-ass game, too. I had Saints team total under 19.5. I was like, the Saints offense is going to struggle to score. They had 27 points in the second quarter. They had 106 yards of offense. They weren't moving the ball at all. It was like a blocked punt. They just get so many bullshit points in that game. Yeah, someone brought up the Eagles. That's another. I left a lot of money on the table. I put a whole video out on Ravens minus 6.5. Never bet it. That would have won. Cowboys Lions over. Never bet it. That's probably about to win. Browns plus 8.5. I liked. That would have won. I left so much money on the table today. But all right, let's talk playoff baseball. It's Grimace. So Kodai Senga is listed as the guy. How deep into this game is he expected to go?
I think it's going to be another. I mean, unless Carlos Mendola, they have a plan and they haven't said anything, but I would assume the same type of situation as we saw before. Maybe 3 innings max. Maybe if he's feeling himself, maybe they push him a little bit more, depending on who he's going to be facing in the lineup. If he's going 3 up, 3 down, obviously in the 4th inning, he'd face Ohtani again. So I don't know how they want to approach that. They might bring David Peterson in, but I would assume for the first 6 innings, you're going to see a combination of Kodai Senga and David Peterson. And then depending on where you're at after that is where you're going to go as far as dictate arms are concerned. So one arm that's not going to be on the Mets roster that has been before, not that he's very good or hasn't been very good, is Adam Ottavino.
Thank God.
Because Kyle's favorite player, Jeff McNeil, is back after a little bit of a injury stint.
He's the anti-Grimace, bro. He's the anti-Grimace.
He was just in the Arizona Fall League or something like that, like the last couple of days and leading off, and he played. So he's available. I don't think you're going to see him today, or maybe in a pinch hit situation, maybe. But regardless, I just wanted to throw that out there because Kyle loves Jeff McNeil. As far as Jack Flaherty and the Dodgers are concerned, I played the Mets. I played this Mets small in the first 5. I played them bigger in the full game. Again, Mets. I got Mets plus 135 on both of them. I just don't understand how Jack Flaherty can command this price. First and foremost, obviously you guys know I'm a Padres fan, a Padres homer. So I'm not. I swear to God, this has nothing to do with me hating the Dodgers, but. Honestly, their offense hasn't really been that impressive to me. They had a couple decent home runs in game 1 against Dylan Cease. Really not that impressive. Ohtani really hasn't done anything all series. Freddie Freeman is a shell of himself. The Padres just fell flat on their face. They didn't score a run for 2 games in October. I mean, there's just nothing you can do about it. Credit the Dodger pitching, absolutely. Now that the Dodger... a little bit is the Padres homer and me will push back on that a little bit, talking about their, Andrew Friedman's coming out talking about their advanced scouting and how good it's been, and how to credit them to holding those Padres bats down. But where were all those advanced scouts the previous whole year? I just, that part of me kind of makes me not really understand what the Dodgers are trying to say right now. But regardless, in this game, you have, I think you have a starting pitching advantage. Even if you say Senga and Peterson for 6 or 5, I still think there's a clear advantage there over Jack Flaherty, keep in mind, guys, what do we know about the Cleveland Guardians? What's the one thing that the Cleveland Guardians can't do among anything else? They cannot hit right-handed pitching, right? Okay. And then, so over his last 7 starts, Jack Flaherty's had one really good start against Cleveland. He went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits and no runs. Previous to that, the Padres got him twice, Miami got him twice, Atlanta got him, Baltimore got him, and he pitched decently against Arizona. But I just don't see how Jack Flaherty commands a minus 160 price with this Dodgers team that, again, like I said, offensively hasn't done much. Do I worry a little bit about Grimace having to fly across the country, having since Wednesday off? A little bit, yeah. But again, if we're looking at the lineup side by side, I don't see the huge advantage for the Dodgers. I mean, you got Lindor. Huh?
That's what I'm saying. I agree.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So again, I'm not trying to be a Grimace homer. I don't really care, but I'm just trying to make the point that, okay, Ohtani is Ohtani. I'm not trying to make a case that he's going to be a bad player or anything like that, but he hasn't done anything. And the only person he did anything off of was Dylan Cease. So if that's impressive to you, cool, put that in your pocket and take it. But besides that, Mookie Betts, I mean, give or take, he had a couple home runs, but besides that, really useless. Freddie Freeman, not 100%. Teoscar Hernandez is a problem. I'll give you that. I worry about him versus Peterson a lot more than I worry about him against Senga. Max Muncy, coin flip. Enrique Hernandez. Whatever, dude. Just whatever. And then Lux and Edman. I mean, again, and then you flip it over to the Mets side. Lindor, Vientos, Nimmo, Alonso, Marte, Winker, Iglesias, Tyrone Taylor, and Alvarez. Tyrone Taylor is the only dead weight in that lineup. Iglesias hits to contact. Winker's been playing out of his mind the last couple weeks. Marte's been putting balls in play as well. Again, Marte is not a guy that I love, but he's a guy that if there's 2 outs and a man on second, seems to always find a way to punch it the other way for a base hit. And again, I love the fact that Francisco Alvarez is at the bottom of the lineup for the Mets. So again, I will give you that the Dodgers probably have a bullpen advantage. I'm not going to try to make that case that the Mets have a bullpen advantage, but I do think the Mets have the advantage offensively in this game, and I do think they have the starting pitching advantage. So 2 of the 3 major categories I have an advantage in, and I'm getting plus 135 on these Mets. So until I see the Mets fall on their face, I'm going to assume that their bats are live and ready to go. If they come out here and they get shut down, Flaherty has a great night and the bullpen backs him up and they score 1 or 2 runs, then maybe we can start talking about it. Maybe that the layoff wasn't great for the Mets. But until I see it with my own eyes, I'm not going to doubt Grimace for now, especially at a 135 price.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it happens in the playoffs a lot. We kind of forget what we're doing here. And it's easy to get back into the mindset of, oh, we're just trying to predict who's going to win tonight rather than, like, okay, obviously the Dodgers are more likely to win the game than the Mets. But at minus 160, is that a smart decision? Is that a profitable decision to make over time? And I would have to say no. The Mets do have the best record in baseball over the last 3 months. So I would say laying minus 60 to the team with the best record in baseball over a sample size that big is probably not a good investment. That being said, I don't know if plus 35, plus 1. So if I was picking a side for a bet, it would probably be the Mets. But I like what you said about the Mets bats. And until they show you that they're dead, the bats are dead, you have to assume they're still hitting, even with the few-day layoff. So what about this bet here? What about going with
Mets team total over?
Mets team total over 3.5. That way, because in my opinion, if the Mets are going to lose this game, it's going to be because Senga gives up a couple. And then, I mean, to be honest, I'm a Mets fan. I don't have a ton of faith in Peterson coming in and pitching in Dodger Stadium. So I think my favorite bet would be Mets team total over 3.5. Just Mets to get to 4 runs. I'm not the biggest Flaherty guy. So I'm assuming the Mets are able to get 2 or 3 off him. Just need a 4th somewhere. So I think that would be my favorite bet. Mets team total over 3.5. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Mets to win. But yeah, maybe over 8 if you like the Dodgers to hit. But I don't even know. I don't know what to think about Senga either. By the way, your over just hit in Cowboys. Lions.
Really?
Yeah, Lions scored again. It's 47-9.
It's funny because I told J7 in the Discord, I said, give me 50 and I'm happy from the Lions.
Yeah.
And for everybody, just so you go, you can get that Mets team total minus 110, minus 115 pretty easily. So it's not like it's some juice crazy number. So
no, it's like it's pretty much right around the even odds.
So Again, for me, and I actually looked at that as well. The only reason I didn't play it is because I'm a kind of a sucker for plus money bets. So at those plus 135s really got me. But again, I just want to see the Dodgers do something. If Ohtani comes out here and steals a couple bags and has a double and a single, and everybody gets everybody else going, then we can start approaching this series a little bit differently. But I'm just going to keep it real. If the Dodgers are going to continue to be priced like this, I'm probably going to be on the Mets every day. Like it's just I just honestly feel like you can't lay these prices in the playoffs. The only time that you can lay these prices if you feel like it's going to be almost a blowout and you lay the -1.5, and even that in the playoff games, as we all seen, is a very scary thing.
Yeah. So do we want to do a poll for a home run hitter and then we'll call it?
Yeah, do a poll because I was just going to say really quickly, I'm going to continue to feast on the guys that have been feeding me the last couple of weeks. So Francisco Lindor, Mark Vientos, both over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Lindor's -120, Vientos is +115, and then I play them both for a hit parlay as well. So these guys have been absolutely on fire for the Mets. They are the reason that they're essentially the reason that they are here. Again, if you've been watching the Mets, you know. So, yeah.
All right, so we got Lindor. Obviously, we'll put Ohtani in there because they love Ohtani.
And really quickly, a lot of people, Mark Vientos is one of my guys, and a lot of people, for some reason, maybe don't understand. But over the last 4 games, he's had 2 hits in all 4 of those games, and he scored a run, and he scored 3 runs in those games as well. So even if he's not hitting homers, which he has 2 home runs, by the way, he's getting on base a lot. So not to mention the fact that the guys behind him can score. So.
Yeah, I'm going to put Vientos into along with Muncy.
Yeah, it's probably a decent one.
Vientos. All right, who's hitting a home run? Community.
I'm curious to see who they have. It'd be, if I had to pick a Met, it'd be like Vientos or Polar Bear or Francisco.
Pete.
God, that'd be so electric.
I would love to see a Pete home run tonight. It looks like everyone's voting for Ohtani by a landslide. You guys like Ohtani to get to his to Senga, his friend? They're friends, right? Aren't they friends from Japan?
Yeah. It was pretty funny though. They asked Senga, they were like, how do you think that Japan is going to be now that you guys are facing off each other? Do you think there's going to be a lot of animosity and stuff? And he's like, I don't live in Japan anymore.
Right, he's a Met. He lives
I love him. I love him.
Lives in Queens. All right, so it's we don't even have to let this poll. It's Ohtani in a blowout win here in the poll. The second place finisher was Francisco Lindor.
The guy that's going to hit one.
All right, I hope he does. All right, guys, let's have a good one. I'll be in the Discord if you need me.